Imagine this, your life defined by a single night, a single tragedy, a single man you swore to hate. That's how my story begins. My name is Isabella Hayes, and for as long as I can remember, my family carried a heartache so deep it left scars on all of us. It happened when I was 15. My father's business, once the pride of our small town, collapsed under the weight of betrayal. Contracts stolen, finances drained, his name dragged through the mud. By morning, everything he built was gone. By evening, so was he. A heart attack. Just like that, my father was nothing more than a framed photo on the mantle, and my mother's tears filled the empty halls of a home we no longer owned. The man behind it? Adrian Knight. The ruthless son of a rival tycoon, the one who took over my father's contracts with precision, ambition, and no shred of mercy. His empire grew while ours fell into dust. For years I promised myself one thing: I would never forgive him. Never. But life, as cruel as it can be, has a way of weaving circles. 10 years later, I was no longer the grieving teenage girl in oversized black clothes. I was 25, strong-willed, determined, juggling 2 jobs to keep my mother's medical bills paid and my younger brother in college. Love had no place in my life. Neither did forgiveness. That night, the city was glowing with lights as I finished my late shift at the restaurant. The air smelled of rain and car exhaust, the streets shimmering beneath neon signs. My phone buzzed with a text from my best friend Claire. "Don't forget tomorrow, gala at the Grandwood Hotel. You promised?" I groaned. Promised, yes, but only because Claire never let me say no. She said I worked too hard, that I deserved to dress up and breathe. I thought galas were for people who never had to check their bank accounts before buying groceries. But Claire's laughter was infectious, and somehow she always dragged me along. What I didn't know was that tomorrow would change everything. The Grandwood Hotel was a palace of glass and chandeliers, the kind of place that made you feel like you should whisper just to breathe. My borrowed dress hugged me tighter than comfort allowed, but Claire's smile told me it was worth it. "Tonight, Bella," she whispered, "you're not the girl with 2 jobs. Tonight, you're the girl who could stop hearts." I rolled my eyes, but a small part of me wanted to believe her. Then it happened. The moment I turned, champagne glass trembling in my hand, I saw him. The man whose name I cursed for a decade. Adrian Knight. Tall, sharp in his black suit, his presence commanding the entire room. His jawline could have been carved from stone, his dark eyes unreadable. But it was him. I knew it instantly. My chest tightened with the memory of my father's collapse, of my mother's sobs, of our house being taken. Hatred surged like fire through my veins. Claire followed my gaze. "Oh my God," she whispered. "That's Adrian Knight. The Adrian Knight. Don't look now, but he's coming this way." Coming this way? My throat dried. Why would the man who ruined my life be walking toward me? But he was. Step by step, his eyes never left mine, as if we were the only 2 people in that glittering ballroom. The crowd blurred, the music dimmed, and I could hear only the pounding of my own heart. "Miss Hayes?" His voice was low, smooth, the kind that could melt glass. "Isabella Hayes?" I froze. How did he know my name? "Yes," I forced out, my tone sharp, guarded. "I thought so," he said, almost with relief, almost with something else I couldn't name. "May I?" He gestured to the seat beside me. I wanted to scream at him, to spit every ounce of venom I'd bottled up for years. But the strange thing? My body betrayed me. My legs trembled, my heart raced, and for the first time in 10 years, I saw not just the villain of my story, but a man. A man who looked at me as if I were not invisible. And that terrified me more than my hatred ever did. Adrian Knight sat down as if he belonged everywhere, as if the world had been carved for him to inhabit it without asking permission. His presence was overwhelming. Every detail, the way he straightened his cufflinks, the way his gaze lingered, made me feel like I was standing at the edge of a storm I'd spent years avoiding. "I know what you must think of me," he said finally, his tone quiet enough that only I could hear. My grip tightened around my champagne glass. Do you really know what it's like to lose everything in a night because of you?" His eyes flickered, a storm crossing his expression. "I didn't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But what happened to your father?" He stopped, jaw tightening. "It wasn't as simple as you think." My chest burned. "Don't you dare. Don't you dare pretend it was complicated. I watched him die because of you." The words came out sharper than I intended, breaking something inside me that had been locked away for years. His gaze didn't waver, but I caught something in it: regret. "I came tonight hoping to see you," Adrian admitted. "Not by chance. Not by accident. I've been waiting for the right moment." I blinked. Waiting? For me? The absurdity of it made me want to laugh, to cry, to throw the glass in his face. Why would the man who ruined my family be waiting for me? Before I could reply, Claire returned, oblivious to the weight crushing the air. "Bella, they're serving dessert." "Oh, Mr. Knight." She gasped, cheeks flushing. "What an honor." Adrian smiled politely, but his focus remained on me. "Perhaps we can talk," he said. Privately. I wanted to refuse. I wanted to walk away. But something, curiosity, rage, fate, I couldn't tell, kept me frozen. Against every instinct screaming in my head, I nodded. We slipped away from the glittering ballroom into a quiet terrace overlooking the city. The night air was cool, scented with rain, the skyline stretching like a painting of steel and light. My heels clicked against the marble floor as I turned on him. "Say what you came to say, Adrian." He looked at me as though memorizing every detail. "Your father's company, it was never supposed to end that way. I was given orders by my board to pursue the contracts, yes. But your father, he made choices I didn't control. Choices that. Don't you dare blame him," I snapped. "You came in like a predator. And you won." Silence. Then softly, "And I've regretted it every day since." The words disarmed me. They weren't slick or rehearsed, they carried weight. But regret didn't bring my father back. "Why are you telling me this now?" I demanded. "Because," Adrian said, stepping closer, his voice low and steady, "you deserve the truth. And because," his eyes searched mine, dark and intense. "Because I can't stop thinking about you." The world tilted. My breath caught. I wanted to shove him away, to tell him he was insane. But the dangerous part? A part of me, a part one hated, felt the same pull. "Don't," I whispered. "Don't you dare try to rewrite our story as if it's some romance. You ruined my life." He didn't flinch. "Then let me try to give you back something worth living for." For a long, unbearable moment, we stood there, the city lights reflecting in his eyes, the silence heavy with things unsaid. I hated him. I wanted him. And for the first time, I realized this wasn't going to be as simple as holding on to my anger. This was the beginning of something far more dangerous. The following week, Adrian Knight became an unwanted shadow in my life. Wherever I went, there he was, at the gallery fundraiser, at the cafe near my office, even at the park where I ran on Sundays. At first, I told myself it was coincidence. But deep down, I knew better. He wasn't just appearing, he was watching, waiting, pressing at the fragile edges of the anger I had wrapped around myself for years. One evening, after a long day at work, I found him leaning against his sleek black car outside my apartment building. "Are you stalking me now?" I demanded, arms crossed. "Following isn't stalking when you want answers," Adrian said calmly, straightening his jacket. "You won't give me a chance to talk. So I'll keep showing up until you do." The audacity infuriated me. "Do you think persistence makes you noble? You destroyed everything I loved, Adrian. You don't get to demand my time." His expression softened, and for the first time, I saw not a titan of industry but a man stripped bare. "Bella, I've built empires, yes. I've won battles. But you? You're the one thing I can't conquer. And maybe that's why I can't walk away." The honesty in his voice hit me like a punch. It would have been easier if he were cruel, if he sneered the way my mind painted him. But standing there in the fading light, he looked human, flawed, haunted. And part of me hated myself for seeing it. "Go home, Adrian," I said, voice shaking. "Before I do something I regret." He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "What if you already regret not letting yourself feel what's here?" The air crackled between us. I turned away, unlocking my door with trembling hands, my pulse wild. I didn't let him see the tear that slipped down my cheek. Because the truth terrified me, maybe, just maybe, I did feel something. 2 nights later, fate, or cruelty, forced us together again. Claire, ever the meddler, invited me to a charity gala, promising it would be good for networking. What she failed to mention was that Adrian Knight was the event's star sponsor. The moment I entered, his gaze found me across the room, sharp and unyielding. I felt trapped in his orbit, no matter how hard I tried to look away. Halfway through the night, a storm broke, literally. The sky outside ripped open with thunder, lightning flashing against the windows. People whispered, hurried for cover, and in the chaos, Adrian appeared at my side. "Bella," he said urgently, "come with me. I'm not going anywhere with you. Please. Just 5 minutes. If you still hate me after, I'll walk away." Something in his tone, raw, desperate, unraveled me. Against every rational thought, I followed him. He led me into an empty library wing of the hotel, the storm raging outside, rain streaking the tall windows. My heart pounded as he turned to face me. "I ruined your father's company, yes," he said, voice breaking. "But not the way you think. He made a deal, one that went wrong. He took the fall, but I tried to stop it. I couldn't save him, Bella. And I've lived with that guilt every day." The words hit like a tidal wave. My father, making a deal? Could it be true? My head spun. "You're lying," I whispered, though my voice lacked conviction. "I'm not." He stepped closer, eyes glistening. "And hating me won't bring him back. But maybe it can bring us somewhere else. Somewhere new." His hand hovered inches from mine, trembling. The storm outside cracked with thunder, and something inside me broke. Tears blurred my vision as I whispered, "I don't know how to stop hating you. Then let me show you how to start loving me." And in that suspended, electric moment, I didn't resist when his lips finally touched mine. It was fire. It was war. It was everything I wasn't supposed to feel. And it was the beginning of our undoing. The kiss still burned on my lips days later, haunting me in the quiet moments when I was alone. I hated that I remembered the taste of him, the way his hand had hovered at the small of my back as though even in passion, he feared pushing too far. And I hated even more that I wanted more. I avoided his calls, his texts, his unexpected appearances at places I frequented. But avoidance was futile. Adrian Knight had threaded himself into the fabric of my life, and no amount of pulling could unravel him. One evening, Claire stormed into my apartment, her eyes sparkling with gossip. "You kissed him, didn't you?" she demanded. I froze. "How? Please. Half the room saw you disappear with him at the gala. And when you came back, your lipstick was gone and your face was different." "Different?" I asked warily. "Like you'd seen God or committed a crime. Which one was it?" I looked away, shame prickling my skin. "Both, maybe." Claire softened, perching on the arm of the couch. "Bella, I know what he did, or what you think he did. But I also know you. You don't let anyone in. If you let him close enough to kiss you, that means something. It means I'm weak." "No," Claire whispered. "It means you're alive again." Her words sat heavy in my chest, pressing against the truth I refused to acknowledge. Because deep down I knew she was right. Later that week, Adrian asked to meet me one final time. His message was simple: "If you never want to see me again, I'll respect that. But let me explain everything first." Against every wall I built around myself, I agreed. We met in a quiet, candlelit restaurant downtown, far from prying eyes. He didn't touch me when I arrived. Didn't smile like he usually did. He just looked at me with a gravity that stilled my heartbeat. "I don't want to fight you anymore," he said quietly. "I just want to tell you the truth." And so he did. He told me of deals gone wrong, of partnerships that turned poisonous, of my father's desperate gamble to save what couldn't be saved. He admitted his role, his ambition, his failures, his inability to stop the collapse. But he also spoke of trying, of nights spent searching for ways to protect a man who had been like a mentor to him. Tears blurred my eyes. The story was not the neat villainy I had always believed. It was messier, more human. "Why tell me all this?" I whispered. "Because I'd rather you hate me for the truth than love me for a lie." For the first time in years, I felt my hate falter. The weeks that followed were chaos. My heart waged war with itself, between loyalty to my father's memory and the undeniable pull of Adrian's presence. We met in stolen hours, whispered conversations, moments that felt both forbidden and inevitable. He made me laugh when I didn't want to. He steadied me when I was unraveling. But the world was not kind. Whispers began to spread, rumors of Bella Hart, daughter of the ruined man, entangled with Adrian Knight, the ruthless mogul. Business partners frowned. Family friends judged. My mother stopped speaking to me altogether. "You have to choose," Claire said one night as we sat on my balcony. "You can keep living for your father's ghost, or you can start living for yourself. But you can't do both." Her words echoed in my mind when Adrian invited me to his estate on the night of the biggest storm the city had seen in years. Rain lashed against the windows as he stood before me, stripped of all his armor. "I can walk away, Bella," he said. "If loving me means losing yourself, I'll go. But if there's even a piece of you that believes in us, then stay. Choose me." My heart thundered louder than the storm. Fear clawed at me, fear of betrayal, of repeating history, of breaking my father's memory. But when I looked into Adrian's eyes, I didn't see the man who ruined my family. I saw the man who ruined my walls. The man who, despite everything, loved me not for who I was supposed to be, but for who I was. With tears streaming down my face, I whispered, "I choose you." His breath shuddered, And then his arms were around me, pulling me into a kiss that felt like surrender and salvation all at once. The storm outside raged, but inside I found my peace. And for the first time in years I felt free. The end.